The Lake Waco Murders, a dark chapter in true crime history, refers to the brutal slayings of three teenagers, Kenneth Franks, Montgomery, and Raylene Rice in Waco, Texas in July 1982. The crime's shocking brutality and the ensuing investigation and trials captivated public attention and left a lasting impact on the community and the criminal justice system. The significance of this topic lies in its exploration of justice, the fallibility of legal processes, and the lasting impact of crime on society. The Lake Waco murders are significant because they illustrate the complexities and potential pitfalls of the criminal justice system. For example, two men, David Spence and Anthony Melendez, were convicted of the murders, based largely on testimony from jailhouse informants and circumstantial evidence. Spence was executed in 1997, while Melendez, who maintained his innocence until his death in prison, highlights issues of wrongful conviction and the reliance on dubious witness testimony. Additionally, the case demonstrates the pressure law enforcement faces in solving high-profile crimes swiftly, which can sometimes lead to controversial decisions and outcomes. In the broader context of criminal justice, the Lake Waco murders serve as a real-world application of how improper procedures can lead to potentially wrongful convictions. This case, alongside others like the Central Park Five, underscores the importance of thorough, bias-free investigations and fair trials. The case has spurred discussions among legal experts and reform advocates about the need for rigorous checks to prevent miscarriages of justice. Opinions on the case often highlight the contentious use of jailhouse informants, with critics arguing that such testimony is inherently unreliable due to potential ulterior motives, such as reduced sentences in exchange for cooperation. This aspect of the case remains controversial and has fueled debates on reforming judicial processes to ensure more reliable and equitable outcomes. Challenges associated with the Lake Waco murders include the continuous uncertainty surrounding the actual perpetrators and the ethical implications of capital punishment in the face of potential judicial errors. Alternative viewpoints suggest that while the convictions brought a sense of closure to some, they may have obscured the truth, leaving lingering doubts about justice being served. The introduction to the Lake Waco murders is crucial for understanding how this case intertwines with broader themes of justice and systemic flaws. It sets the stage for exploring the ripple effects these murders had on law enforcement practices, legal proceedings, and the ongoing quest for truth and accountability. The chronology of events leading to the murders serves as a pivotal component in understanding the gruesome Lake Waco murders, providing a timeline that sheds light on the circumstances and decisions that culminated in this notorious crime. A chronology in this context delineates the sequence of incidents, actions, and interactions that led to the tragic events of that fateful night in July 1982. This structured account is crucial as it lays the groundwork for analyzing the dynamics between the perpetrators and victims, exposing the socio-cultural backdrop and possible motives behind the crime. The significance of this chronology in relation to the Lake Waco murders cannot be overstated. It allows investigators, legal professionals, and the public to trace the progression of events, thereby illuminating potential patterns or triggers that may have played a role in the escalation of violence. Furthermore, it assists in identifying lapses in law enforcement or societal responses that could have prevented the tragedy. For example, understanding the movements and interactions of the primary suspect, David Wayne Spence, before the murders is vital. Spence's history of criminal behavior and his connections to other individuals involved in the case illustrate a complex web of relationships and motivations. Additionally, examining the activities of the victims in the days and hours leading up to their deaths provides essential insights into their unsuspecting encounters with danger. Opinions supporting the importance of this chronology emphasize its role in ensuring a comprehensive investigation and trial. By meticulously piecing together events, law enforcement can construct a narrative to support their case, while defense teams might use it to highlight inconsistencies or alternative scenarios. Nonetheless, the process is fraught with challenges. Establishing an accurate timeline can be hindered by unreliable witness testimony, lost evidence, or biased interpretations. Moreover, controversies often arise over how certain events are depicted, potentially impacting public perception in the judicial process. This chronological analysis influences other aspects of the Lake Waco murders, by informing media coverage, shaping public opinion, and guiding legal strategies. It also serves as a reference point for ongoing discussions about criminal justice reform, particularly regarding evidence handling and the impact of media sensationalism on fair trials. In essence, the chronology does not just recount what happened, it probes deeper into the whys and hows, offering a comprehensive lens through which the Lake Waco murders are scrutinized and remembered. The investigation and initial suspicions segment of the Lake Waco murders dives into the critical early phase of understanding this complex case. This stage refers to the initial efforts by law enforcement to gather facts, identify potential suspects, and construct a narrative of events following the gruesome murders at Lake Waco in 1982. This phase is crucial because the initial direction of an investigation can significantly influence its outcome, shaping public perception and legal proceedings. The Lake Waco Murders investigation began with the discovery of the bodies of 3 teenagers, Jill Montgomery, Raylene Rice, and Kenneth Franks, brutally murdered at Spiegelville Park. This heinous crime shook the community and prompted an urgent response from local law enforcement. The significance of the initial suspicions lies in their ability to guide detectives towards viable leads while eliminating red herrings that could waste valuable resources and time. One real-world illustration of initial suspicions affecting a case is the infamous JonBenet Ramsey murder, where early suspicion on her family members shaped public opinion in the course of the investigation. Similarly, in the Lake Waco case, early suspicions focused on known criminals and those with past violent tendencies, which eventually led to the convictions of several individuals, including David Wayne Spence. Spence's conviction was heavily debated, and he maintained his innocence until his execution in 1997. Opinions about the investigation of the Lake Waco murders are divided. Supporters of the law enforcement efforts argue that they worked with the evidence available, tirelessly solving a convoluted case. However, critics claim that initial biases led to missteps, coerced testimonies, and potentially wrongful convictions. The reliance on informants and controversial testimony has sparked debate over the integrity of the investigative process. The investigation faced challenges, such as the high-profile nature of the case, which brought immense pressure to quickly solve it. Moreover, controversies arose over the handling of evidence and the credibility of key witnesses, leading to alternative theories about the true perpetrators. This point connects to the broader narrative of the Lake Waco murders by highlighting how initial investigative decisions can shape not only the outcome of a case, but also public confidence in the justice system. As new evidence or insights emerge, they may force a reevaluation of prior assumptions, impacting legal and societal perceptions long after the initial investigation concludes. The trial and convictions in the context of the Lake Waco murders refers to the legal proceedings and outcomes that followed one of the most notorious crimes in Texas history. In 1982, the brutal murders of Jill Montgomery, Raylene Rice, and Kenneth Franks at Lake Waco led to a high-profile investigation and subsequent trials that would capture national attention. This phase is critical as it represents not only the pursuit of justice for the victims, but also highlights the complexities and potential pitfalls inherent in the judicial process. The significance of the trial and convictions lies in its role in attempting to provide closure for the victims' families and the community, while also serving as a reflection of the strengths and weaknesses of the legal system. Trials relating to such heinous crimes are instrumental in setting legal precedents and influencing public opinion on justice and due process. In the case of the Lake Waco murders, the trials resulted in the convictions of David Wayne Spence and several accomplices, with Spence receiving the death penalty. These convictions were deemed as justice served at the time, though they remain contentious. Two specific examples that illustrate this point include the initial conviction of David Wayne Spence and the subsequent legal battles that question the integrity of these convictions. Spence was convicted primarily based on witness testimony that many later believed to be coerced or unreliable. Similarly, the convictions of Gilbert and Anthony Melendez were based on confessions obtained under questionable circumstances. These cases exemplify how legal proceedings can hinge on the reliability of evidence and testimonies. Opinions supporting the significance of these trials highlight the necessity of a thorough judicial process in ensuring justice for heinous crimes. However, the Lake Waco murders also underscore potential challenges and controversies, such as allegations of prosecutorial misconduct, inadequate defense, and debates over the death penalty. Critics argue that